So in this case, you knew what you wanted. You have enough technical professional skills to understand good design, but you still use an architect. And then you have HomeWrights to back you up for what purpose? What kinds of things do they do to be helpful?
Really ensure that I'm not crazy with the things I'm doing to kind of rein me in with some design perspectives or what's worth it energy efficient wise. And then just the nuts and bolts of how this goes together. A big part of this was being able to learn the nuts and bolts, and so having the hive mind of HomeWrights has been fantastic, and our GC consultancy, or consultant that's behind you right now, he's been great teaching us.
That guy?
Yeah.
Jacob?
Yeah, so Jacob's been great and helping us learn just exactly what to do, the sequencing of things. The access to really solid subs has been fantastic. We really like the people we've been working with. Right before we started a lot of the hard stuff here, I tried to do some light remodeling of a home we just got, and total night and day difference trying to find my own subs and having to redo almost every single one of those guys' work versus these guys that we've been working with, HomeWrights, and it's just been wonderful.
Yeah.
Really like the people we've been working with.
Because finding subs seems to be people's greatest fear when they think about doing some of these things on their own.
Yeah, for sure. And I would absolutely 100% work with the same people I've selected. Definitely don't go with like the cheapest people, but the people who you feel most comfortable talking about things with.
Right. So in this case, if you don't mind me asking, beautiful home, you're spending a lot of time, money, and energy in this. What can you save simply by being on the owner builder program? I can't even remember the different fees and stuff that people charge, but I think we're probably saving about 10% is generally what we've been looking at. For the level of detail that I'm able to specify as the designer of this place. Getting an architecture firm to do all these kinds of details would have been probably a lot more. Maybe we'd be saving 15% off of that, some high-end thing. I also might be overestimating my design skills and like some of the specifications that I'm going with, but I know we're being very specific with some of the design that we're trying to accomplish here. A lot of biophilic stuff, and you start throwing architecture terms like that around and people start charging more money. Sure.
And so being able to do this myself is definitely saving.
Yeah. So saving money is great, but you're obviously doing this because you know what you want.
Yeah.
And you got some creativity here.
Yeah, it's definitely, it adds a whole nother layer of the IKEA effect of just really appreciating and valuing the stuff that you do yourself, and just the amount of endless decisions that you have to make and how it impacts the whole project.
Yeah.
That's just going to be, I don't think we could ever sell this place because of this.
Yeah. So you're doing this, you're putting in time on this on a weekly basis. Do you have another full-time job, or is this it?
I've tried to work while doing this, but I realized I think you can go into this process and have other architects, interior designers, other people that can specify some of the more details of your project. But in my case, being so involved in the design process and all the specifications, I actually quit my job so I could do this full time and just be able to focus on this. I'm justifying that by the money that we're saving and the education that I'm getting from it. So hopefully it all pays out in the end. But so far, so good.
Totally justified.
So what's exciting to me was, first off, we kind of started with the process knowing kind of what emotions we wanted to evoke. Living here, and that's kind of a good baseline to cascade all your decisions off of. So constraints are good, but one of our constraints was it had to be like cozy and warm, and natural materials are a great way of doing that. So I tried to maximize the amount of exposed wood through here. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I'm a fan of wood.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, so we were planning on having that subfloor exposed, our joists exposed, and then these big glue lambs. And so another part of biophilic design is good natural light. And so we were actually given our neighbors' blueprints
before they finished their house. So we knew where their bulk plane was going to be. So I could calculate where the winter light was going to come and where the summer light was going to come.
Wow.
And so up here, throughout this entire thing, we have a clear story that we're just using this cut through the entire house. And so in the winter time, we'll be able to get that winter light bouncing down here, even though it's at a lower angle. And then the summertime, we'll have some shade so it doesn't.
So what you're saying is this area above me will be open as we see it now,
Yeah,
not with a railing up there like a balcony, but as just a duct for light and air.
yeah.
That is very cool.
Yeah, we're calling it the cut through. We're going to have some lighting that illuminates to the left and the right going down this entire thing.
Huh. So natural light's going to be coming in from the side as well as the end.
Yep, on both ends we really wanted to express this idea of the cut through the building.
That is neat.
Yeah.
And then this wall here, tell us about this wall again.
Yeah, so one thing that my client slash wife wanted, she really likes wide open spaces, so we essentially did a simple box for efficiency reasons, energy and cost, and then just had this little kick out for our living room. But because we have this not just flat wall, we can have more glass essentially, so more light. And then this opens up and it's going to be what we're calling our outdoor living room.
Sure.
We'll have a gas fireplace in the center here outside. And because we're building so airtight, it's not good to have gas living inside your house. I guess there's a lot of information about that these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't want to have to worry about having a gas fireplace in the house. So we'll have a switch that turns on the fireplace outside. So we still get that effect of a cozy fireplace without actually having to worry about it being inside an airtight house.
And tell me again, how does this wall collapse?
Yeah, so this opens up here, and 4 of the panels go that way, and 4 of the panels go that way, and then there's nothing here except glue lam.
Okay. That is going to be nice. And it wraps all the way around. Does this doesn't move?
Nope, those are all inoperable windows, and our plan is to have a lot of privacy growing back here. So using a lot more natural like elements, plants and stuff to provide privacy. Our ADUs are providing a lot of privacy, but because we have all these duplexes with high roofs or
Sure.
roof decks behind us, we're going to have stuff like growing on top of that. It's going to be a green roof back there. And so we'll have some privacy in this, what we're calling it our little oasis. Yeah, so we're gonna have our stairs snaking around up here, and you'll enter about right here. And then we've got our rooftop deck. Did this so that we could have the winter views of mountains. I might have to punch this open again.
So Steve, that door was custom made for that opening.
Yeah, this is a steel double pane door from a company outside of, or in California. This was actually one of the more challenging parts, was finding somebody who would make a door that would open up or that would follow our specific roof line.
Very unique. Can I step out here?
Yeah, how about it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And the plan is to have stuff growing along the edges, the perimeter
Sure.
of this, because this house, if you kind of look at it from this perspective, is essentially a wood box going this way.
Uh-huh.
And then you can kind of see down there and down there that this roof wraps around the side and out the other side.
Oh, beautiful.
And if you look over here, you can see where this roof dives down and then hits our beckoning fold is what we're calling it. And that's signals entry into the place.
I noticed that when I walked up, had a really interesting feeling. The
Yeah.
entrance is very classy and elegant.
So that's all going to be made out of the same standing seam material as our roof.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to have this expression of the wood box with this black metal wrapping around it. And this little flip kind of helps drive that idea home.
Sure. No, I love your design elements. I mean, your typical architect is not going to be recommending these things to anybody because it's going to be about money and his time, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of challenging the norm here with some of these ideas you're incorporating.
So we're trying to, our plan was to build an efficient home and splurge where it made sense. For us, that meant the stuff that we can't change in the future, like the wall assembly, and the general layout of the house. And so being able to nail those down meant that like we could focus on that. And this whole process with HomeWrights really allowed us to like focus on it, because as things come up, you're like, well, now I have to decide between this or this problem wasn't addressed in the design phase, like the HVAC system that we're using. Because we're so airtight, we have to use ERV, which is actually really great because all the air that exhausts, that energy gets captured with the air that you're controlling that's coming in, that's also filtered. So it's a lot more comfortable, no bugs. All this stuff is great, but trying to figure out how to make that fit in this house, we had to make some compromises and just figure out what the solutions were going to be. Just getting those things to fit in this different like utility cores that I tried to plan ahead for, but I mean, it's my first time and I guess we needed more room. And so just being able to tackle that stuff, like for instance, instead of having a dedicated duct system for our ERV, we're doing a hybrid where we have all the returns going into the ERV, meaning it will exhaust air constantly out of our wet rooms, like bathroom and kitchens, but we don't have a dedicated system for it supplying the fresh air. So that's being tied into our HVAC. But then we're going to have these dedicated returns for the bathrooms and stuff.
So by being an owner-builder, you're also able to be flexible in process.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had a traditional contractor, you're going to have to go to the general contractor, then go to the subs, and then have a big debate about, should we do this? Why should we do this?
Yeah, I've definitely got a lot more confident just being like, no, this is kind of what we need to do now, after having to tackle issues like this constantly, which I guess is pretty normal in a normal build, and this is a little bit more complex because we're trying to hit all these high energy efficient and comfort numbers, and then some of the very specific design elements that.
But by acting as your own general contractor too, you don't have a change fee. You don't have to worry about changing it. It might cost you time. Could be different cost of materials.
Yeah.
But you could also save money.
Yeah, absolutely. Not having to go back and forth. I think it probably speeds up the process, not having to go back and forth. And yeah, the not having change fees from an architect might be good. I don't even know what those would be like because we haven't had to deal with them.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is Brooke has had a list of things that he has not been willing to sacrifice or lean away from.
Right.
And with a normal builder or architect or design company, you may find that they can kind of pick and choose what they listen to and what the standard is for that company, where Brooke is the overseer, the quality control guy, the decision maker, and if he wants it done a different way or wants it done to another level, he can say so, and there's nobody standing in his way. So that goes back to one word is control.
Yeah.
He has the control.
Yeah. And that's worth a lot. This is your dream home. You're not doing this for laughs. This is all about you and your family.
We feel very fortunate to be in this position to be able to even go build anything, let alone something that I have so much control over.
Yeah.
And so just trying to maximize that potential has been really, really key.
Well, you're keeping your costs down in building by cutting out that middleman, but you're also creating an energy efficient environment that's going to pay off for years to come.
That's kind of the idea. I mean, definitely didn't necessarily do it just for the cost savings. I'm guessing we'll probably be about a wash, cost saving wise. but there's just more comfort when you do more energy efficient, less hot and cold spots. You can really control the environment a lot better. And then my wife really likes the fact that when you do something really airtight, you don't have bugs, which is really nice. I guess we don't really have to worry about bugs so much here, but even like spiders and stuff.
Yeah. Less bugs, no matter what.
Yeah, less bugs has been a good selling point. But yeah, it's definitely been really nice. We actually just did our blower door assisted air sealing this last week, and I was very impressed with the numbers that we were able to hit before we were even done with a lot of things. We're like missing a couple windows, and we still are twice as airtight as code. So
yeah, beautiful. So what advice would you have for somebody who's thinking about acting as their own general contractor, but they've never done it before?
Gosh, if it's right for you, if you have something specific that you want to accomplish, and you're willing to put in the time and effort to make that happen, then I think it's great. I mean, if nothing else, it's worth reaching out and seeing what HomeWrights has to say.
All right, Brooke, there's another building behind your lovely home here. What is this? It looks like it's more than a garage.
It is. On top, we're building an additional dwelling unit, and so that's just an efficient use of our everybody framers and stuff. Getting this done at the same time just made more sense with everything else. And the benefit of this, it kind of looks a little intimidating right now because there's no windows or anything.
Sure.
But it's providing a lot of more privacy back here. And what we're doing with our cladding is this beautiful baked wood. I don't know if we have any examples of it right here, but we're going to use that same material on this ADU, so we'll actually be able to look at it.
Oh, cool.
And then up there, we're going to have a rooftop garden that's going to provide even more privacy for this area back here.
So the rooftop garden will be for anybody who's staying in the ADU, right?
Yeah, and also provide privacy for us. But if we go inside,
so they'll have a balcony access?
Not really. We'll have some really large windows that open up.
Oh, okay. But it'll give them that greenery too.
Yeah, and you can see one of our 5 windows that are going to be along that entire wall. So those are all south facing, so they're going to get a lot of natural light for the whole ADU.
Sure.
And we designed this so that we would have there's going to be a wall separating these 2 garage doors, and that's going to be private parking with a little door.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, for the ADU.
And so in this case, you can keep family, friends, visitors, etc. in their own space, or you could rent it out.
Yeah, we are actually expecting a child, so our first one, and depending on how much separation we want from that, we might have my mother stay in here, and we just like toss the baby over the fence, and we'll have some more privacy. But for the most part, this was done for financial reasons, just because it made more sense to have a rental property on the back of here. Plus, I feel like Denver really needs to maximize our housing, and so more people can live in houses. And so
somebody will get an affordable place to live, private, with a garage, little greenery, looking out the window, good location, and you get half your mortgage paid.
Yeah, that's the idea. Exactly. Yeah, we tried to mimic some of the same vibes as the other house, but definitely didn't go as crazy with the design of here.
Yeah.
It's really just this efficient floor plan upstairs with a wall of windows that is kind of filtered by greenery.
So let's summarize. What would you say, Brooke, are the benefits of working with HomeWrights and the Owner Builder program?
Just assurances that you're not crazy if you want to do something. If they agree or help you, then that helps a lot. But control, being able to have total control of the process, access to a wealth of knowledge. If for the few times Jacob hasn't had the specific answer, he's got like a whole team of other people that have a lot of experience, so just a ton of knowledge, more so than I think you would get from a single GC that would be in charge of this process, and
a whole bunch of other projects. So nobody cares about your project like you do, and this definitely helped.